in here should be the answer to our spool valve leak problem. I like how it comes with a little fitting diagram. You don't get that very often with parts, do you? That unfortunately hasn't worked. Last time I had this same issue, that's what it was those seals inside the coupler. But now, just behind that bit there, you can see that little sort of dip in there. There's a channel and the oil's coming through from that channel, literally just behind that circlip basically. So I wonder if there's some sort of a seal gone between the slices, the hydraulic slices. So that will need some more investigating on another day. I'm going to come back to that spool valve issue. For the time being, we've got a bit of lamp that needs working down. Now it's had that bit of rain through it. I'm going to go and get that sorted. I'm going to nip over to the bit which is several miles away with the cousin seedbed cultivator, and the other block of lamp's going to be done with the power harrow, so hopefully we'll whip over that over the next couple of days. And fingers crossed that's not the wrong decision. I think it's dry enough to work down a bit and take a bit of rain, and it should encourage a good black grass and volunteer chit before we drill it. This is about ideal, I think. Just knocking that top about, getting rid of this sort of stuff. Making a bit of a seed bed, but not working it down too fine, so it will still stand a bit of weather. I don't want to drill this immediately. I'd like to hang it out a little bit if I can. I think that'll be spot on. This was my only concern with this job. Those spring tines quite close together and quite bad for straw getting caught in them, but I'm just going to lift these spring tine sections up out the way because they're not really doing an awful lot in these conditions other than causing me a problem. That'll just leave the bars, the tines on the front. They're doing the bulk of the breaking down. A little bit with the packer roller there and the roller on the back. So that's effectively going to be acting like a culti press with those middle sections moved up out of the way. But it's doing a nice job. There's also some levelling boards on the front if I want to put them down. So yeah, I think that'll do. So this field was just a tester. He's going to come down and do this block of land with a power harrow. I'm going to move up to the other one now. I'm happy with that. I didn't want to go all the way over there just to find out it wasn't doing the job I wanted it to do. So, pleased with that. I am a little more nervous leaving heavy land worked down fine with the power harrow, but I think needs must this year because we're going to get any chance of a black grass chit. That's what we're going to need to do. And if the weather looks like it's going to turn, everything's ready just to whip around with the drill, so can go over this lot in a couple of good days, and then we'll just have to rely on a herbicide to try and do the job. Alright, I've just given the old John Deere a quick fluids top up, bit of back end oil, bit of coolant, engine oil was on the bottom of the markings as well, so I just put a couple of litres in there. Got the T8 sat here on her brand new Trelleborg VF tyres. She's done about an hour's work on them so far. We've got chap Tom from Gore Farm Tyres. He's coming back out to change one of the back ones. He noticed when he was putting them on there's a very small blemish I think in the sidewall of one of the big ones. So he told Trelleborg about them, and they basically just sent him a new one, so just put a new one on. In the meantime, if you need to use it as normal, so that's pretty good. Trelleborg they've also been out and weighed it with the implements on the back to see what they think the optimum pressure to run the tyres at is. So not a bad bit of service really. Hopefully we'll get on well with them. There's an awful lot more tread on them than the old ones, so it's going to help from the start. Plus them being VF, and the old Michelins were just a standard. I think they were just a standard radial on them, to be honest. So yeah, looking forward to getting into some proper work with it. This is rough. Should get better as we get that way though. Jesus! This is awful. This is awful. I'm about 2/3 away across the field. Getting towards the silty a bit, which isn't as uneven, but I might have to go out and take half of the tines out the front because I think they're just going to bung up a straw on that. My mudguard's broke off. Actually, I broke it off before it fell off and destroyed itself. I hadn't had a chance to go and get that rubber piece yet from John Deere. I think they've got it in now. I'll go get that in the morning. So that is riding on the cultivator at the minute. And also, you'll have noticed I'm steering. That is again a bump related issue, a bumpy field related issue. My GPS aerial, because it's that bumpy, even though it's on a mag mount, fell over and snapped the cable. So that's also in the cab with me. Fortunately, when it lumped off the roof, managed to stop quick enough just before it went through the machine. Not that bad here. So the long and short of it is, I'm going to be extremely pleased to get out of this field. Tell you what would be ideal on here. Either a twin track or a quad track machine, like a small Challenger or an 8RX or something with a 6 metre power harrow on it. That'd do the job nicely, and it'd ride over the uneven bits a lot better, I would imagine, lumping up and down with these tyres. There's quite a silty area in this field, which I've just got to. So positives of that, it's not chucking me around quite as much because it worked down a lot better when it was initially cultivated. However, you can imagine that the soil and straw is not flowing through that tool as well in this silty area. So if you can see, I've taken the back line of legs off, so I've just got the front ones. So I do still want to cultivate this because it's quite a lot of volunteer wheat grown up to a reasonable size, and this is at least knocking it down, which would mean I haven't got part of the field where it's grown extra long. if I go away and leave this. So it is doing that job, and there are places on here where it is levelling it still as well, because it's not consistently silty across the whole lot. It's just in patches really. Nearly there. Last little bit. Exit. Nearly there. I might feel like I'm in a car accident in the morning, but we got it done. Thank God. First field of beet coming up. Don't think we'll have much of a problem drilling into that, will we? One pass with a Sumo. Woo. Gonna drop this cutter off, put the Cousins rolls on, then head back over to the field I was in yesterday, and the heavy side of it I'm going to finish off with the rolls, because whilst it did level it off nicely and make a fairly good tilth, it did also pluck quite a lot of little boulders up, so I think that should finish it off just nicely. Alright, worst side of the field here again. You can't even tell there was a rain on here weekend just gone. I think it did get only about 12 mil over here apparently, speaking to a neighbouring farmer, and we got nearer 20 over back at home, but she is dry. Second field of beet coming up there very nicely, running at about 90 tonnes a hectare on his yield monitor, and things have been adjusting up very nicely in the factory. First field did about 82 from the tonnage off the sugar beet harvester, so hopefully that'll adjust up to sort of high 80s, 90ish. Been adjusting up a good 10% in some cases, but we will see. Both fields have got some quite light areas in them, so I'm rather happy with those figures if that's what it ends up being. The light land crops were certainly a little bit more stressed with the drought and heat this year, so no, not too bad at all. I'm going on a parts run in the morning, pick some bits up for the John Deere. Hopefully the oil leak is the seals that I replaced, but in the top hydraulic slice for the fourth service, so I'm going to give that a go. I think the oil might just be escaping and coming through the dirty oil well and out of the third service, which is the one that I thought was leaking originally. So I'll have a go on that, see if that works. I've got the new piece for the mud guard, try and fix a GPS antenna as well, and get that back on the drill and ready to go. So We've got the beat hauliers here. We'll be getting pretty close to starting some drilling as well, and hopefully the weather's looking good in a day or two's time to spray some Roundup pre-drilling. So anyway, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video. Click the old subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.